Hi, today we're talking about the topic of domestic violence. It's a very silent epidemic in the church, and it starts from your leadership all the way down into the congregation, and it's an unspoken topic. So let's talk about it. Let's see what God has to say about it.
In the church, nobody wants to be exposed. Everybody wants to kind of be,
So we hide everything?
Right, so we hide it. So we want to make sure that nobody knows what's going on behind closed doors. But the issue is more than just the anger and the violence and the treachery. It's something personal.
Tell me what the issue is exactly.
It's a control issue. It's something that's like one person wants to control the other person. The wife wants to control the husband, or the husband wants to control the wife.
Well, first of all, domestic violence it's an ugly thing, it's an embarrassing thing, and I think people don't want to admit that there's a problem with domestic violence. But I think the real issue is we're living in an angry age where people are becoming angry and bitter, and because of that root of bitterness, it's springing up in relationships and marriages.
Stalking or harassing someone is also associated with domestic violence. It's always unwanted contact, emails, telephone, text, mail, anything that has to do with undesired or unwanted contact with another party.
We have to expose this behavior. We have to really come out and say that this is unacceptable and not, it no longer needs to be hidden.
Right, and I know a lot of in domestic violence, there's a lot of women that get killed. There's men that are too afraid and too ashamed because women beat them up too.
There was a time when domestic violence was considered to be between a man attacking a woman, but you're even seeing more situations where women are even becoming abusive towards men, and it's just the root of bitterness that's springing up between relationships.
Yeah, people are very aggressive nowadays, like road rage.
Absolutely, when we leave God's plan for our lives and we begin to become self-centered, we begin to get filled with frustration and anger and bitterness, and it's easy to happen, and it even happens to good, godly people.
Domestic violence is illegal.
The bond between man and woman is to literally hide everything and anything that's unjust, that's ungodly, until it gets to the point where it can't be hid anymore, like a bruise or a mark or a scar or a scratch or some blood running down your face, and you come out in public, that's going to be obvious to the outside eye. So when it gets to that point, it's going to be exposed.
The person that's a perpetrator is usually angry with themselves, and they hate themselves for who they are, so they project their anger onto another person.
Oh, these issues are something that they don't do nothing but get worse. Because it may start with the open hand slap, and then eventually it graduates to a closed fist, and then eventually it graduates to a bottle or something. And eventually it graduates to another, maybe the kitchen drawer gets drawn open. I mean, it gets worse. It never gets nicer. So if we don't take a stand, then more of our fellow believers, we're going to find out later that that was the issue in their home. Nobody was able to address it before it was too late.
Many times if you try to run from your perpetrator, they begin to stalk you, and they begin to harass you and threaten your life, your family's life. They won't leave you alone. They text you, they call you, they write emails to you, they send things in the mail, they stop at your residence when it's unwanted, and they continually want control over your life and control over the situation and circumstances, and that's a very fearful thing for people that are involved in domestic violence to deal with.